These are the most common objections a client will come to you with on a sales call. And if you know how to answer and get over these objections, you're more likely to close the deal. I train all of my sales staff on these exact objections that you're about to see in this video, so that when they happen, we know what to say to the client, we know how to close the deal, and we know how to get the bags, okay? So if you're interested in learning the most common objections that myself as an agency owner has been seeing over the last 13 years, and you want to see the exact objection answers and how to overcome them, then just watch this video, which is behind the scenes of our Level Up program, which we do not sell anymore. I'm not trying to sell you anything here. I just want to make sure that it gets out there because we're not selling it anymore. Let's go. So why don't you do everything? Why can't we have a custom package? Why can't we have a little bit of this and a little bit of that and a little bit of this? Because that's what we would want, and other agencies can do that. So this is one of the most common things that happens in almost every sales call that AJ&Smart has. And if you decide to go for package pricing and building up packages, then you're also going to come across this, because you're also going to have companies who want a little bit more than you're actually going to offer. And how we deal with that sort of a question is we double down on explaining why it's important to have specialists doing very specific things on projects, and that it's not necessarily the best idea to have a generalist approach to something that could be high value, like a website. So you don't, for example, have an architect building the entire building, like they don't design the building, and then they don't go and lay the bricks, and then they don't go and paint every room, and then they don't, well, maybe they do. Maybe there's like really proactive architects out there who design in CAD and then they go and actually build the toilets. But normally you have different people doing these things, and you even have different companies, and one company is like coordinating these companies. So we kind of give them that analogy, and we say, AJ&Smart, we're the architects, right? We're the architecture firm. You call us to figure out what that blueprint is. You don't call us to lay the bricks, right? And so that's kind of taking this approach of like really explaining to them why specialization is a good thing, not a bad thing. Another common pitfall, or another common issue that we have on sales calls, is that people don't want to pay the full price. They straight up ask us for discounts. They straight up tell us that they don't have the budget. They tell us all the possible things that could, make them not have to pay. Or they say, oh, maybe we can leave out the user testing. Maybe we can leave out this and that and that. What I ask them is, would you go into an Apple store and ask them for a cheaper iPhone? It wouldn't work. We consider what we do to be a high quality product. You're guaranteed to have a high quality outcome. So we're not going to negotiate. This price is not something that just moves up and down when someone coughs. We're like, oh yeah, it's a bit cheaper now. We stay very, very focused on the price. Of course, it takes a while to find the right price that you should sell things at. And basically you figure that out, call to call to call. If everybody says no, then your price is too high. If everyone says yes, then your price is too low. So once we do find a price for something, which sometimes takes a few sales calls, we then stick to it, and we really don't move up and down the price. And really, the people who want to negotiate with you are the people you don't necessarily want to work with anyway. If they really keep pushing, trying to get 10K off the project, believe me, these people are going to be trouble. So how do we deal with these situations when clients try to negotiate with us? We simply explain to them that what we're selling is a product. We're very proud of it. We want to give them the best results, and we're not really willing to give them a discount, because we don't want to do other clients a disservice by them paying cheaper for the same thing. We try to move it back to, it's super high quality. We're going to save you months of time based on what we're doing. Of course, you could do this internally. Of course, I even say sometimes you could hire a whole UX team for less than it costs for AJ&Smart to work for 1 month. I tell them this, and then I wait, and then they say, yeah, but then we would have to train them and get there. And then, yeah, I'm like, yes, exactly. So often they'll kind of figure it out themselves. So if they're worried about the price, normally they're just playing with you, but sometimes it's because you haven't really asked them enough questions and made them realize how important this project is to them. And maybe it's not an important project to them, and maybe then you shouldn't work with them if they really keep pushing on the price. Sometimes we have an issue around payment terms. So people ask us, how do we deal with the payment terms with clients, especially when we're in our sales process? So what we ask our clients is 100% upfront. We ask them that, we expect that from them. However, we know we're not always going to get it, but at least we ask, and that's where our negotiation starts, at 100%. Usually what happens is we get 50% of the project price on the signing of the deal and 50% at the end of the deal. And that's really fine too. And I think this is something just about being confident and saying to them, we don't even talk about it on the calls because we generally don't even need to talk about money. It's just in the terms of our invoices. And what's really, really great is at AJ&Smart, we can hand over, right, as soon as the deal is done on our side, as soon as like, yes, we're doing this project, yes, this is happening, then we hand that over to our internal finance guy, and then he contacts that company and he's totally out of all the emotional part of the selling, and he's just like, here's your invoice. And the good thing about separating that, the good thing about separating the salesperson from your sort of bookkeeper is that there's no emotional connection anymore, and this person is not really as willing to negotiate. So often we will have the case where the client gets back to Kyle, our finance guy, and says, oh, well, you know, we can't actually pay 100% upfront, blah, 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 blah. And he just replies, sorry, that's the rules. And then he starts the negotiation. So you shouldn't necessarily worry about that because a lot of companies just won't pay upfront, especially if it's expensive, especially if you're starting off. But do try to get a little bit upfront because it's super important that you have some cash in your bank, some cash flow. One thing I will say is that we do not ask for cash upfront as a guarantee. If a client doesn't like the work, we give all the money back. We are not interested in it being a guarantee. We make it clear to them that it's because of the cash flow, and that usually makes them feel a little bit more calm. Hopefully that video was helpful. What other objections do you get from clients? I'd love to hear them, and I can write in the comments what I would say to when clients say those things. Now, if you're interested in going deeper into this type of topic and learning more about what we sell at AJ&Smart and how we sell at AJ&Smart, there's a video down below, a 1-hour free training. Check that out. And that's all I have to say to you today. I'm very sweaty. I'm very hyped up on coffee. And YouTube, you know? See you later.